Imagine jogging in your own neighborhood, minding your business, when a self-appointed queen of suburbia screams that you're packing heat, only for the cops to show up and bow to you instead. That's how Sarah Thompson, a quiet architect with a hidden edge, turned the tables on the HOA busybody who'd been spreading vicious lies about her for months, exposing a web of petty tyranny that left everyone cheering her downfall. Sarah had lived in Willow Creek Estates for 5 years. A picture-perfect slice of American suburbia where manicured lawns hid a pressure cooker of ridiculous rules. No one dared hang holiday lights past January 15th. Or park a car with a dent visible from the street. Or, God forbid, plant wildflowers that might disrupt aesthetic uniformity. It was the kind of place where neighbors smiled through gritted teeth. All under the iron fist of HOA President Karen Whitaker. A woman who quoted bylaws like scripture and wielded her gavel like a scepter. Sarah, with her modern home office and low-key lifestyle, had always flown under the radar. Until she didn't. It started innocently enough. Sarah's brother, a SWAT instructor, had gifted her an old training belt complete with an empty holster after she'd helped him redesign his precinct's firing range. She wore it on her morning runs to get used to the weight, part of a self-defense course she was taking online. No gun. No ammo. Just molded plastic that clicked satisfyingly against her hip. But one crisp autumn morning, as leaves crunched under her sneakers, Karen's electric scooter hummed into view, blocking the path like a budget barricade. "Hold it right there, young lady," Karen barked, her voice echoing off the cookie-cutter houses. "What's that on your belt? A weapon? In our family-friendly community?" Sarah paused, earbuds dangling, sweat cooling on her forehead. She could see the neighbors' twitching curtains. The usual audience for Karen's theatrics. "It's just a training holster, Karen. Empty. For exercise." Karen's eyes narrowed, her pearl necklace heaving with indignation. "Exercise? Don't play dumb with me. I've heard the rumors about you, shady late-night deliveries. Secretive meetings. This proves it. You're a danger to us all." Sarah bit her tongue, knowing the rumors were Karen's own inventions. Whispered at HOA meetings to paint her as some reclusive weirdo because she'd once skipped a mandatory potluck. Instead of arguing, Sarah jogged on. But inside, she was cataloging every word, every glare. Karen, meanwhile, was already dialing 911. Her voice rising in faux panic. "Yes. Operator. There's an armed individual terrorizing the trails. Send help now." By the time Sarah looped back home, the sirens were wailing, slicing through the suburban hush like a bad omen. 2 patrol cars screeched up, lights flashing, drawing every nosy resident out onto their porches. Officer Ramirez hopped out first, hand hovering near his belt, scanning the scene. Karen pointed dramatically, her finger quivering with righteous fury. "There she is. That holster's loaded. I bet my life on it. Arrest her before she shoots up the playground." Sarah stood calm, hands visible, just like her brother had taught her. "Officers. It's training gear. No firearm." Ramirez approached, eyeing the belt. Then his face lit up in recognition. "Wait, Sarah Thompson? The architect who consulted on our new tactical sim room?" Sarah nodded. "That's me." The other cop, Jenkins, chuckled under his breath. "Ma'am," Ramirez turned to Karen. "This isn't a weapon. It's standard issue for drills. Miss Thompson's cleared with the department. She even donated blueprints last year." Karen's smug grin froze, then cracked. But the rules. HOA Covenant 4.7 prohibits any display of weaponry. Ramirez raised an eyebrow. HOA rules don't override state law. Lady. And false 911 calls? That's a misdemeanor. As the cops tipped their hats to Sarah, Jenkins even saluting with a wink, the neighbors murmured. Phones capturing Karen's reddening face. She sputtered. This is outrageous. I'll fine you all. But the patrol cars rolled away, leaving her fuming in the dust. Sarah said nothing. Just smiled faintly and headed inside. But that night, she started a discreet notebook, dates, quotes, witnesses. Karen had just handed her the first thread to unravel the whole tapestry. Whispers spread like weeds in Willow Creek. Karen, stung by the public humiliation, amped up her smear campaign. At the next HOA meeting in the clubhouse, a sterile room smelling of stale coffee and entitlement, she stood at the podium, banging her gavel like it owed her money. Fellow residents, we've got a security breach on our hands. Sarah Thompson's been parading around with what looks like a gun. I've documented it all. She passed around grainy photos from her phone, conveniently cropped to hide the empty holster. Murmurs rippled. Is she dangerous? Heard she's into some weird stuff. Sarah sat in the back, silent, observing how Karen manipulated the room with her honeyed venom. For the sake of our children, Karen intoned, voice dripping with fake concern, we must enforce order. I'll be proposing a new bylaw, no tactical gear on common paths. All in favor? Hands shot up. Sheepish but compliant. Sarah abstained. But inside, she was piecing together patterns. Karen wasn't just petty, she was paranoid, hoarding incident reports on everyone who dared question her. The next day, a violation notice slapped onto Sarah's door, $500 fine for endangering community harmony. Sarah paid it quietly, but she started chatting with neighbors one-on-one. Old Mr. Patel, the retired engineer, confessed over fence line she fined me for my grandson's skateboard last year. Called it a noise hazard. But I saw her dump extra mulch in my yard once, claimed it was beautification, but it killed my roses. Linda from down the street whispered. Karen spread lies about my divorce. Said I was unstable. Now no one invites me to barbecues. Sarah nodded, adding notes. Why not speak up? Fear, they said. She controls the fines, the approvals. Lose her favor, and your life's hell. Sarah's patience was her weapon. She'd been slandered before, in her old job. A jealous colleague had accused her of stealing designs. She'd won by gathering evidence, not shouting. Now, she did the same. Photographing Karen's scooter parked illegally, recording her berating the mailman for suspicious packages. Tension simmered as fall turned crisp. Karen, sensing pushback, doubled down. She cornered Sarah at the community mailbox one afternoon, her voice a stage whisper loud enough for eavesdroppers. Listen here, Missy. I know your type, sneaky. Thinking you're above the rules. Drop the holster act, or I'll make sure everyone knows about those mysterious visitors at your house. Sarah met her gaze coolly. Visitors? You mean my clients? Architects have meetings. Karen smirked. Call them what you want. But in this neighborhood, we value transparency, not secrets. Sarah almost laughed at the irony. Karen, who spied on everyone. Instead, she said mildly, transparency like your secret finds fund? The one padding the clubhouse remodel? Karen's eyes widened for a split second. How dare you? That's slander. But Sarah walked away, knowing she'd hit a nerve. That evening, another fine arrived, $200 for verbal harassment. The neighbors watched. Some sympathetic. Others cowed. But cracks formed. Mr. Patel slipped Sarah a USB of old HOA emails showing Karen's selective enforcement. Karen's paranoia peaked when she spotted Sarah jogging again. Holster on. This time, she didn't wait. Stop right there, she yelled from her porch. Phone in hand. You're violating the new bylaw. Police. Now. Sirens blared again. The same officers arriving with weary expressions. Again. Mrs. Whitaker? Ramirez sighed. Karen ranted, she's defiant. That thing's a menace. But as Jenkins inspected, Sarah casually mentioned. Check the HOA records. That bylaw isn't ratified yet. Karen pushed it through without a quorum. The cops verified on their tablets. Nodding. False alarm again. Ma'am. This is getting serious. Karen exploded, you can't side with her. I'm the president. Ramirez deadpanned. And I'm the law. Cool it. As they left, Karen's face twisted in rage. Muttering threats, Sarah whispered to a neighbor. See? All bark. Laughter bubbled, dark. Relieved. That night, Sarah compiled her dossier, emails, photos, witness statements. Karen's order was crumbling under its own absurdity. The boiling point hit at the annual HOA election prep meeting. Karen, desperate to cling to her throne, had rigged the agenda with loyalty oaths and fine hikes. But Sarah arrived early, armed with printouts. As Karen pontificated from the stage, we must unite against disruptors like certain residents, Sarah stood. Like me? The one you've lied about for months? The room hushed. Karen sneered. Sit down. This isn't your show. Sarah smiled thinly. Actually, it is. I've got proof of your embezzlement, fines funneled to your personal landscaper. Gasps. She projected emails on the wall, transfers, fake invoices. And these incident reports? Stalking. You fined Patel for nothing. Spread gossip about Linda's life. All to keep control. Karen stammered. That's fabricated. I'll sue. But Mr. Patel rose. No. It's true. She ruined my garden. Linda added, and my reputation. More voices joined. A chorus of pent-up fury. Karen's face drained, her confident mask shattering into panic. You ingrates. I kept this place perfect. Sarah quipped. Perfect for you. Maybe. But suburbia's not a dictatorship. Chaos erupted, neighbors demanding audits, calling for her resignation. Karen fled the stage. Clipboard clattering. As the county sheriff, tipped off by Sarah's anonymous report, entered. Mrs. Whitaker. We're here for misuse of authority and potential fraud. She whirled. Shocked. What? On whose word? Sarah stepped forward. Mine. And theirs. Handcuffs clicked, not for arrest, but detainment pending review. The room erupted in applause. Dark satisfaction washing over faces. Karen's empire of rules collapsed in real time. Her hypocritical rants exposed as the petty power grabs they were. As she was let out, blubbering excuses, Sarah felt the weight lift, not vengeance, but justice. Slow and sweet. In the aftermath, Willow Creek breathe easy. New elections brought fair leaders, fines dropped. Wildflowers bloomed. Sarah's runs went unchallenged. Her holster a badge of quiet triumph. Neighbors barbecued without fear. Sharing stories of Karen's absurd edicts with bitter laughs. The county fined her thousands. Barred her from HOAs statewide. She moved away. Tail between her legs. Her house sold at a loss, poetic justice. Sarah sat on her porch one evening, watching kids play freely, and reflected, patience unmasks tyrants better than rage. The neighborhood wasn't perfect, but it was theirs again. But tell me, was Karen the real villain? Or just a product of a system that lets busybodies rule unchecked? Who's truly at fault when good people stay silent too long?